What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy Dtlf back with another post-game recap. Missed pregame, I apologize, but I'm here for post-game, guys. I want to break it down with you. Very, very bad game. This probably was the worst game we've played in the playoffs thus far. We completely self-destructed. And we're so talented that we almost made a furious comeback and won the game, yet our bad habits took over in the end. Bad turnovers. Just to tell you that LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Rajon Rondo combined for 12 plus turnovers. So the role players weren't as great today. Kuzma, non-efficient. Dwight Howard got into too much foul trouble. Granted, the referees, the officials were horrible. But this was a disappointing game. I hated the effort. The energy was trash. I felt like, obviously, the officiating is garbage, but we have to play through that. That's not going to matter. When you're as good as a team as the Lakers, you saw we can lead a furious comeback like that. What was it, 24-2? And the fourth only to fall short due to turnovers and lack of fundamentals. Here's the problem with the Lakers, and we've had this all year long, and this is why I'm upset. I'm not disappointed we lost because I figured the Lakers wouldn't sweep. We haven't been disciplined all full series yet. We always have at least one. That's why I said best case scenario 5 games, worst case scenario 6. But we came out flat from the beginning. We were settling for stupid jump shots. I'm sorry. They were really dumb. We got out rebounded by this team when we have all the size. Frank Vogel's rotations were trash tonight. Trash. We didn't use our size. We put in Dwight too late, and Dwight helped lead that comeback in the third quarter when we were down 5. And then, obviously, he got in foul trouble and we had to sub him out. And then they got their lead back up. Here's the thing. We need to start off with Dwight Howard on Jokic early to start the game, even if he gets in foul trouble. Why? Because we need Dwight Howard to put his body and get him tired because offensively, Jokic is a mastermind. Offensively, he kills, guys. And defensively, we weren't even half as good as we're capable of till the very end. The very end, if we would have played with that same energy we played in the fourth quarter, I'll say with about 8 minutes to go when we made that run, if we would have played with that energy, we would have easily won this game by 15 or 20. Instead, we decided to play with our food, which is something we've been doing all year long. We've been playing with our food, and we don't execute. And we think that we're just going to show up on the court and dominate just because we hit a game winner last game. No, it doesn't work that way. I've been telling everybody about Denver. They're legit. They'll make you work for it. All right. And here's the problem. We just opened up the door for this team confidence-wise. So they feel like, oh, wait, here we come with the comebacks. All of a sudden, we got to win. I thought this team was invincible. We didn't put our hands on their neck and squeeze. We didn't finish the job. That's the problem. Now they have confidence going. Now they actually think they can win a game 2. And then if they win a game 2, they're going to think they can win a game 3. And so every game from here on out is going to be a battle. Not that it hasn't been, but it's going to be worse, man. And so you have to give them credit because we opened up the door and they walked through it. Their stars shine brighter than ours. I thought LeBron, even though he had that triple-double with 30 points, I didn't think he played a great game. I thought his shot selection was questionable. Partially due because he was tired, but what do you expect when you're always trailing and trying to make a comeback? You're going to get tired. Instead, if you're playing close the whole game and then you take over in the end, you use your energy at the very end. But this game, we just managed it poorly. I thought the rotations were bad. Coaching was bad. I thought going small was bad. We went away from our strength and we brought in Dwight too late. Everything was bad. And this is one of those games where I would normally say we self-destructed, except no, we didn't just self-destruct. We imploded. And then we tried to, regain that positive energy and play smart at the end, but it wasn't enough. Carter Sosa, appreciate you, bro. He said, it's okay. I'm tired about the loss, but they had a damn near die to beat us with all our mishaps. And that's the thing about the Lakers. We keep shooting ourselves in the foot, not to take anything away from Denver because they did, again, their stars outshined ours. They hit the bigger shots. We didn't tonight. It's going to happen. It's a 7-game series. I'm not going to panic, but I am disappointed with the effort. The effort for the Lakers was really bad. Really bad. He said, the game pissed me off. Bad calls, bad rotation, sloppy play. Yeah, it was like, again, the only time the Lakers have lost in this playoffs has been the perfect storm. And that's what I mean by the perfect storm. And on top of that, the other team playing well. They got 114 points on us. We played shit defense, period. Because, you can't allow a team to get 114 points in the playoffs. It's the playoffs. Every possession is supposed to count. And I saw many plays where LeBron wasn't playing D. He just let people blow by him. I saw plays where the weak side defense wasn't rotating. We weren't helping the helper. And we were just conceding buckets. And then this is the worst part. We double team the Grant brother. I don't know, it's Jeremiah, Jerian, whatever. the Grant brother. We double teamed him and left the wide open shooter wide open, guys, in a crucial situation when we're making a furious comeback. That's how you lose games. That's fundamentally not smart. Defensively, we're trash. Offensively, we turned the ball over. That turnover by LeBron late in the fourth when we were only down 3 and he tried to advance the ball. It's like, bro, hold on to the ball, get a high efficiency bucket. Like, take it to the hole every time. They can't stop you. But I guess I understand why he took the shot and why he made those passes. He was out of gas. So was AD. They have to do a better job of pacing themselves, man. And coach has to do a better job of calling timeouts during the right plays. If he sees these guys huffing and puffing, call a timeout, coach. Let your guys catch a breather. That could change everything in the game. He called a timeout after, it's like, come on, man. But look, we lost to a good team. I'm not even mad. They had, one of their better games, 114. I doubt it'll happen again. I doubt they'll get to 114 again. But we have to make sure that doesn't happen. MFAS said, what adjustments do we need to make next game? I say this. I say start Dwight Howard. Why? Because Jokic doesn't like Dwight. Jokic likes AD because he's getting away with throwing elbows and, using his body exceptionally well, which is playoff basketball. You're not going to get that call, AD. Stop flopping. So he's giving away with just, burying himself in the paint, and he has a soft touch. He can fade away. He was hitting some impossible shots, but that's what he does. With Dwight, however, he crashes into his body. Even when he gets fouls, it's wearing on him. If you saw, Jokic was a non-factor towards the end of the game. It was really Murray who took over in the end. But that's because Dwight's body wore on him, and we didn't wear him out enough. Because this is why I need to start Dwight. Whether he gets in foul trouble or not, you have to set the tone early defensively, and Dwight helps do that. He scrambles on defense. He blocks shots. Even when he gets called for fouls that aren't fouls, he's there. So he's in their head constantly making them play outside of their game. You guys ever go to the park and you playing somebody who's barking and yelling and playing defense and getting the steal? If he gets a steal on you, he's going to get in your head because all of a sudden you want to play extra to prove yourself against them. So that's how Dwight is a dog, man. We need everybody to come out with that dog mentality. Shout out to Rondo. He was great in the end. I would even consider starting him because when he's out there, the tempo's better. But none of the role players really stepped up as good as Denver's role players. It was a perfect storm. Our role players didn't show up. Kuzma was atrocious tonight. I love me some Kuz, but I got to call him out. He was hesitant on shots. He was lackadaisical on defense. I really didn't like the way Kuzma played tonight. And not just Kuz, but the whole bench rotation. Caruso early on was, turning the ball over. He couldn't catch it. Like his hands were made out of stone. Coaching was trash. I agree with Jennifer. Coaching was atrocious. All around, it was a perfect storm. And then LeBron, I didn't think, even though he got the great numbers, I didn't think he was as aggressive when we needed him to be. And AD was very, very, very lazy. I felt like he settled way too much. Maybe he was tired. I don't know. He needs to get a better night's rest or don't practice as hard because we need more energy in the game. And we need to actually do a better job on offense of setting him up closer to the basket so he can start in there, get his rhythm, and then eventually work his way outside. That's how he catches his inside-outside rhythm. Junior, appreciate you, bro. He said, Kuz needs to stop overthinking and just play ball. Agreed. Tonight was the last game, and tonight were probably his worst 2 games in the bubble, so he needs to bounce back. And I felt like the last game he was rushing and forcing things because Michael Porter Jr., because he was outplaying him. And I feel like the commentating and all that gets into his head. I don't know if he can hear it. He probably can't hear it, right? They're not in the arena. But I think he knows the narrative. Kuz, you got to play team ball. Don't worry about your role. Don't worry about outplaying Michael Porter Jr., just worry about knocking down open shots and playing good defense. That's it. And making the right cuts and reads. That's all he has to do. He didn't do that last game, and this game he wasn't that good either. So we need a better Kuz. If Kuz had played, we win tonight. That's all I'm saying. But not just Kuz. We need a better LeBron, a better AD. I thought our main 3 offensive weapons were off, and we need way better coaching, man. Seriously, Dwight need to start or get more minutes. He needs to be one of the first subs in if he's not going to start at the very least. Clement said, rebound the ball. We only had 25 rebounds. Everyone has to rebound. LeBron with 10 rebounds too. Yeah, we have to do more because that's what's going to happen if we let LeBron do all the heavy lifting. Then he's going to be out of gas for the end of the game, and that's why he settled for threes. I hate it when LeBron settles. I'd rather he pass the ball to somebody who's open than settling for a contested shot, especially when he has no legs. It's not going to go in 9 times out of 10. So, I prefer. If he doesn't have the energy to attack and keep the defense on his toes, or if he doesn't have it going offensively, shooting-wise, pass the ball. Like he had 2 good mid-range shots in the third quarter, and that was it. Those were his best shots. But outside of that, he settled for three, turned the ball over. He had 6 turnovers tonight. So that's too much, King James, even for you, bro, even for your MVP status. Got to tune it down a little bit. But again, I'm not blaming LeBron. solely. AD had an atrocious game too. Not statistically speaking, I thought he was soft tonight, and I'm not saying he's a soft player, but I thought tonight he was very soft. He settled. He looked tired. He looked intimidated, and he was flailing all over the place. We need him to get big, man. That's AD. That's Defensive Player of the Year / MVP candidate, MVP. We need him to show up, and tonight he didn't do that. And oh my God, Reggie Miller and Chris Webber just got under my skin. Those guys, man, they're the worst. The worst. Jameson said that was a horrible performance by our Lakers. But as bad as that was by our Lakers, we have to give Denver credit. Now, remember, and this is why I'm a fan of Dwight being tough and all that, but I don't like the barking after the game, after the hit shot, go home, all that, because that's extra fuel to their fire, man. And Denver, they got some hoopers over there. They remembered that, and they came out here, man, and they came out here they played with a passion from the start. They were scrambling. They were turning us over. They were getting out in transition. They were making their wide open threes. So if you're Dwight Howard, be a beast on the court, but off the court, it's okay to be hype, but just please don't give them any more motivation. Like, we're in the Western Conference. This is when it really counts. They got some dogs over there. Believe it or not, look, we just allowed the Grant brother to get a career high. Like, we can't have that. And again, that's fuel to their fire, because Dwight was doing this off the court. Do it on the court. Do it, when they bump you and all that. Do it when you need to do it on the court. But when you're off the court, celebrate with your team. You don't got to say, till it's over, man. Once it's over, do whatever you want. I don't care. But I just don't want them to give motivation to the opponents, because these guys can shoot the lights out. And tonight they got to 114. We can't allow 110. Again in the series. We can't allow them to get over 110. We shouldn't allow them. We're so good defensively. You saw there in the end that we really shouldn't allow them to score over 100 points, because we can clamp them up. It's just that the Lakers, sometimes we have this bad habit of taking quarters off, of taking half of quarters off, halves off. And we think that we're so talented, we're just going to magically beat a team. They're going to fold? They're not going to fold. This is Denver. They came back from through 2-3-1 series, and we can't start giving them hope. Because if we give up another game, all of a sudden, guess what? It's a brand new series. And the refs aren't going to help us, so we can't look that way either. We have to be smart. The refs have been atrocious all playoff long towards us. So we got to be smart, put our head down, stop complaining, and play smart basketball. Clement said, appreciate you, bro. He said 6 from 23 from 3. Yes, this is what I mean by not smart basketball. Offensively, we have all that size, and we're settling. That's a sign of being tired, and that's a sign of being mentally weak for this particular game. So Lakers definitely got to step it up, and I expect a lot better the next game. If they don't come out here with a sense of urgency, then this might exceed my expectations as far as Denver goes. I said 5-game series at best, 6-game series at worst. Well, if they come out with another lackadaisical performance like this, like they did tonight, which I don't expect, because like I said, they lay an egg once a series so far, the Lakers, if the trend, if the trend proves us correct. But if they do another one for any reason, they come out confident, just basically going through the motions, letting people get layups, settling for threes, not playing smart, turning the ball over. We come out like that again, this is going to go to 7. And I didn't think I would say that, but I respect Denver's talent enough, and they have a lot of heart and a lot of fire and passion, that I know that if the Lakers don't show up with that sense of urgency, like it's a game 7, we got to play every game like it's a game 7. Like we played that fourth quarter. We don't show up like that the next game, this is going to be a 7-game series. You heard it here first. Now, I still expect it to be a 5 to 6 game worst case scenario, but we have to show up. That's the key. That's the key, guys. Again, sloppy games only lead to, sloppy outcomes. Straight up, we have to respect our opponent. Those guys play extremely hard. This isn't Houston. This isn't Houston who depends on the refs. These guys will knock down their shots. Now, yes, like I said, officiating has been atrocious all playoff long towards my Lakers. They've been they call the softest little things like that. Dwight Howard brush when he stole the ball from Jokic, and then he put his hand out and they call a foul on Dwight. That should have been a foul on Joker. But again, we didn't lose a game due to the officials. We lost the game due to us not playing smart, not taking care of the basketball, not playing defense, not knocking down our free throws. We missed free throws. That matters. That changes everything, guys. That changes momentum. All of a sudden, you play different when you're trailing and when you're tied. KCP missed a huge 3 when we were down 3. That could have changed everything again, because the shot selections Denver was shooting when they were up would have been different had they been tied or down. All of a sudden, they start panicking. And so every little thing matters in a 7-game series, and we have to make sure that this is our only blunder of the series. If we have another one, it's going to go to 7. because we know the officials are going to be there. We know that, Denver's really good. So that combined can push us to 7. However, we're the best team in the series, and we have to start acting like it for a full series, guys. Let's stop taking breaks, because this can really come back to bite us, especially if we get to the finals. That can really come back to bite us. Johnny said the coach had bad rotations. Kuz was dookie. Absolutely. No excuses at this point. Everything gets microscoped. So we're really looking at Kuz like, hey, bro, you're that guy. You've been great all playoffs long. Now we need you to be great in the Western Conference Finals. Last 2 games have been bad by Kuz, but I expect my boy to step up. Normally he hits that 3. The one where he could have brought us closer right there when he was wide open, but he hesitated. He can't hesitate. LeBron has to pull him to the side and be like, hey, man, anytime you're wide open, you let that thing go. I don't care if it's the last shot or the first shot of the game. He needs to pull him to the side and install that confidence in him, because that was not good at all. At all. He said Kuzma fouled too much. That too. Everybody didn't play good defense, man. Markieff Morris, I thought, was a low point in his playoff bubble career so far as well. I didn't think it was his best game. But yes, Jennifer is absolutely right. I've been saying it. Anytime we self-destruct, we beat ourselves. We shoot ourselves in the foot. So, but we do have to give credit to Denver, because not only did we shoot ourselves in the foot, we opened up the door and they walked through it. They marched through it. And now they're going to come into the next game thinking they can win that. So the Lakers have to take that confidence away from them early in the game. We can't allow them to take a lead like tonight. And now we're playing tired because we're playing catch up. So he said AD 2 rebounds, SMH. Yeah. And you know what? They're going to destroy him. They're going to tear him a new one in the media, which is doing Laker fans a favor, because we don't have to do that. We expect greatness, bro. You showed us a game winner. You showed us greatness last game. We're going to expect that the next game. But that's all right. I know AD is going to bounce back, because anytime he's had a subpar game like tonight, he bounces back the next game with a huge one. So, that's what superstars do. Sometimes they take a night off once in a while. But guess what? He's going to come back with another 40 and, 20-point game, something like that. I expect some big things from him. He said, Dan, LA pride themselves of never losing 2 in a row. Absolutely. And we have to continue with that mindset. However, we should pride ourselves of not losing any, because tonight early on, it just looked like we were mailing it in. They went up 20 at one point, and the Lakers' body language was just looking at each other like, no. Y'all got to be yelling at each other and telling each other where to be on defense. Y'all got to, we got this. I want to see the passion. I want to see the fight. And we saw that late in the fourth. We led a furious comeback. And I thought we were going to win. That would have been one of the greatest playoff comebacks that I've seen in a while. But unfortunately, like I tweeted it out. I said, this run that for some reason doesn't feel right. I feel like it's fool's gold, because we've been sloppy the whole game. And we're like, a turnover or 2 away from losing the game. So I kind of felt like we would do it. And sure enough, LeBron threw the pass right into the defense. It looked like a tired pass. And then also, who else turned it over? I forgot who else, but, they just turned the ball over too damn much. He said, this team is mentally weak. No, I won't say that, Tay. I'll say this team is mentally overconfident, where sometimes we take nights off thinking that our talent is going to win us those games. But this has been a problem throughout the history of the NBA. The Warriors used to do this, and sometimes teams would sneak up on them when they had KD, or even when they had the 72-win team. Great teams, for some reason, get too confident sometimes, and they forget to bring their skill set to the game. And that's what happened to us tonight, man. We forgot to bring the passion, the energy, and the hustle. The skill is always there, but we forgot to bring the hustle. So, we just got to step up next game. This ain't panic mode, man. We up 2-1. We're in the driver's seat. However, we got to make sure we stay in the driver's seat by winning the next game and taking full control of the series. There's no way they come back on us. They're not going to come back like they did the Clippers. We got closers over here. Even closers have off nights, and it happens. Kobe used to have off nights. The best of the best do. And I'm okay with it as long as I saw fight in the end. So that was crucial. I would have been a lot more pissed had we got blown out 20, and then the body language is all weak. Now we know what the recipe is for success, and we know we're going to come back the next game. We have to start with that same defensive intensity that we ended this game. We have to start that in the next game, because that's key to championship is defense. And you saw that's what sparked the run. We really couldn't get our offense consistently going all night. Again, settling for dumb, low basketball IQ shots, it's not going to get the job done. However, defense sparks transition. Transition sparks easy buckets spark some sort of a tempo. Now, all of a sudden, you start hitting harder buckets. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. Again, credit to Denver. They took this one. Straight up credit to them. I mean, Jokic is something else, man. He hit some crazy shots. I don't even think they're going in, fading away off of one leg like dirt, but less athletic. And then, you got Murray. He did his thing. He ran us through screens like crazy, and he knocked down the shots. And here's the key. I've told you guys, we can't allow a third person to rise or it's going to be trouble for us. And we let the Grant brother, we let him come on and drop a career high. So those are all recipes for disaster. Defensively, offensively, we weren't there. I'll take a couple more comments, guys. My man said Lakers in 5 is realistic. Yeah, that's always been my prediction. Either 5 best case scenario or 6 worst case scenario. Because I knew Denver would get hot one game or two and take it, Hopefully it's just one, but it's very possible that they got their confidence going now. So we got to make sure we come out and we execute from end to end. We can't start off slow and then expect to get back because, look, we ran out of gas. You got to remember, we're the older team. They have more energy than us. So they can run up and down, up and down, up and down. What we have to do in order for them not to be running in transition and getting easy buckets, to nip that in the butt, we have to make sure we execute on the offensive end and get the best offensive rated possession, meaning closer to the basket, the better. Stop settling for 3-point shots. What was the stat again? Well, we hit like 9 out of 30 something like maybe less, 6 out of 30 something. I don't know. But see, this is where Frank, the coaching has to come in mind. Like, if you jacking up lazy shots, come over here and sit by me. If I was Frank, that's what I would do. I'd rather play Talon Horton Tucker with energy than Rondo with no energy. Just an example. Not saying Rondo did anything wrong. I'm just saying. He says, stop starting Danny Green. And that's another thing. Danny Green has been really, really inconsistent and more leaning towards bad. But again, I don't know. Frank Vogel has a set rotations because even JaVale has been atrocious and he's starting. So I think at this stage of the season, Frank Vogel just has his set rotations and he doesn't want to mess with that. But the mark of a great coach. Now, Frank's a good coach, but the mark of a great coach is to make adjustments on the fly fearlessly. Not worried about the consequences, but just adapting to what the teams are throwing at you. He's done that a couple of times, like when he started Dwight in the second half. That's a good job. However, he doesn't do it consistently enough to be a great coach. Because if he did, then, Danny Green wouldn't be starting right now. He said it wasn't the Lakers' night. Denver was hot. Any shot they wanted, they mostly got. This game was a must-win for Denver. They had to win this. It's over for the Lakers. Will win in 5. Yeah, I hope so, but we can't. See, we can think like that. The fans can be confident because we've seen the Lakers all year. Lakers can't think like that. They have to come out here thinking, hey, we just opened up the door and they're trying to walk through it. We got to shut it back. We got to shut that door back game 4 and make sure that they feel the presence. And I would expect the Lakers, if I'm Frank Vogel, I'm like, listen, you guys gave them a breath of life. Why don't you come out here next game and take that breath away? Just punch them right in the stomach. Make sure they lose their breath. And that way, the Lakers make sure we close this series out earlier rather than later. We don't want this to go to 6 or 7. We want to end this in 5. That's the goal. All we have to do is win 2 games, one at a time, though. We got to focus on the next one. We got to treat game 4 like it's our game 7. Like we're the ones with the sense of urgency. We have to come out here because I promise you guys, if we come out here and lay an egg, this series is going to 7. And that's the last thing you want going into a finals. You want to go out there ending the series. This is a different. I think next game will tell us the difference between if the Lakers will win in 5 or 6 or if it'll go to 7. Why? Because you don't want to go to the finals out of a 7-game series. Not saying that it won't battle test and all that, but the fact that you risk injury every game you play, especially for an older team. These are a physical series. Everybody wants to win. There's bodies everywhere. You risk injury, so that's a negative. Your confidence is a little shot because you barely got by. That's a negative. And, you don't have enough time to game plan for your opponent or strategize because you're focused on your current opponent. So in order for us to secure the NBA championship, we need to beat this team in 5, worst case scenario, 6. If it goes to 7, guys, that championship really becomes in question. Not saying we can't win it. We're obviously the best team. But, mentally we start questioning ourselves like, yo, we barely got by Denver. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, one team at a time, make sure we win it. Next game, we have to. It's a must-win for the Lakers mentally. He said, hello, Dan. Rondo should start and Dwight and sit Green and McGee. See, that's what I mean by on-the-fly coaching. The great ones are like that. The great ones plug in the energy. The great ones adapt. The good ones stick with rotations. The good ones still make good, decent calls here and there, but it's not consistent enough. So there's a difference between being a good coach, Frank Vogel, and a great coach, Phil Jackson, or a great coach, Popovich. You know, the great ones, they adjust in the fly. Like me personally, when I saw what Dwight Howard did in game 1, I thought immediately start him. My thumbnail for I think it was the last game was, is it time to start Dwight? That was the thumbnail. Like I thought, and I'm just a fan. Now imagine the coach not to be able to see this. One of two things: either he's stubborn or he's just old-fashioned and wants to stick with what's he already knows, doesn't want to risk anything. Which again could be good for the team, but it's not great for the team. You know what will be great? Reward the energy. Reward the player that's most effective. That will be great for your team because that inspires others to rise their level of play because they might eventually become starters. I think it's overdue for Dwight. I think he's deserved the starting spot for about half the season, and that would be a great time. Great time. Now, I get it. The refs hate Dwight Howard. He can't sneeze on somebody or it's a flagrant. I understand that. But Dwight Howard, what he brings to this team is invaluable, meaning I'd rather have him foul out than have him rotting in the bench if I'm Frank Vogel. I'd rather have him foul out. Give me all 6. Give me energy. Give me 6 fouls, but give him good. And what I mean by that is make sure they feel your body, especially Jokic. That guy's so talented. If you allow him to have his full energy by the end of the game, he will be killing you. So my goal, I'm always thinking about the game within the game. My goal is Dwight Howard. They need to feel your body if I'm coach. I'm telling Dwight Howard, you might get a couple foul calls, but it's okay. Keep being aggressive. Keep blocking his shots. Keep swatting down extra hard. Make sure he feels the follow through on your hands. If they want to call a foul, let him call it. Why? Mentally, he's starting to fatigue himself. He's starting to huff and puff. All of a sudden, those shots that were going in earlier in the game may not go late in the game. You know what I'm saying? So even if Dwight is not in the game late, he already did his damage in the first, second, and hopefully third quarters before he fouls out. So you see what I'm saying? We can't allow the refs to dictate who we start. A lot of people are saying, hey, listen, you don't start Dwight because he gets in foul trouble. It's like, well, the officials are winning then. That's why they don't want him to start because he's a game changer and they want to push it to 7. But guess what? You start Dwight, even you force the officials to look ridiculous on national television. You start him. Even if he fouls out, you got plenty of depth. You can always slide AD to the 5. If you need JaVale for some spot minutes, you got him as well. So that's all you got to do. The solution is simple. Frank Vogel, please start Dwight Howard. He is our defensive anchor in the paint. He's a true rim protector, and he's a big body who is going to be felt by Jokic. And that's what we need. Because honestly, I also felt like AD got tired offensively because of the defense he had to play on Jokic. Jokic, he's a big dude. I know they say he lost weight, but that must have been Photoshop because I still see the turtle shells off the side. This dude will put his body on you. Like, Jokic is a bigger dude. He's not your average skinny center. This guy has some weight to him. So if Anthony Davis is getting pounded, that's another reason why I need to start Dwight Howard. If Anthony Davis is getting pounded for 36 minutes out of the 48, guess what? He's gonna look winded like he did in this game. So a lot of it is a mental warfare between coaches. And right now, I will tell you this: who's winning the mental warfare, even though we're up 2-1? Mike Malone. Why? Because he's making sure that everybody feels Jokic. He's making sure that Jokic parks on everybody. And, so he's having his way in the paint. And we need an enforcer for about, give me a good 25 minutes, Dwight. 25 minutes of filling up on Joker. That happens, he's going to have a tough time. I promise you. I promise you that. So that's my takeaway anyways for tonight's game. What do you guys think? You guys think I'm wrong? You guys think, JaVale should just stick to the rotations? Should Dwight Howard start? I mean, leave it in the comment section. Let's see. He said Frank will never start Dwight Howard. Well, again, that's the reason. That's what separates good and great coaches. Like Frank Vogel, even though he had us in the West, there's a reason he wasn't in the conversation for Coach of the Year. And it's because he's not a great coach yet. Maybe he'll become that, with his. I pray that he becomes that during his course with the Lakers. But he makes some mental lapses and mistakes that I just like. Wait a second. He said Dwight gets into silly foul trouble, which is fine. That's going to happen. Guess what? We were in foul trouble the whole night because they were calling ticky-tacks. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's okay. We're going to get in foul trouble regardless. I'd rather, though, make those fouls count. Let them feel Dwight. Let them feel him. If Dwight starts, he will foul out. The refs call too many ticky-tacks. Again, but here's the thing, Brady. What do you prefer? Do you prefer for Dwight Howard to foul out, but at least he imposed himself on the defensive end early in the game, setting the tone and for the rest of the team, for the rest of the game? Or do you prefer just to have Dwight Howard on the bench for the majority of the first half, letting Denver run all over the paint and, get buckets. And then Dwight Howard comes in the second half, but still doesn't even play his whole fouls out. I'd rather the first option because at least this way he's setting down the anchor to start off, and he's setting the tempo defensively. Talon Horton Tucker have that energy but no experience. Again, this is also what separates coaches great from good, is that he showed us a lot in that last series with Houston, and he's yet to see the floor on this one. So a great coach would have recognized that, rewarded his player, skyrocketed his confidence potentially, and it would have been a win-win for the Lakers, especially if he can make an impact in this series. Come on. Danny Green makes stupid plays, and he's a vet. So if you can give him the green light, why not give the rookie at least some spotty minutes here and there? That's all I'm saying. But again, I don't expect this from Frank because I don't see him as a great coach. I see him as a good coach. If I had to rate Frank Vogel as a head coach right now where he's in the playoff bubble, because he's made some mistakes. I had him at a 7. Right now he's up at about a 6.5, because those 3 losses that we've had, he's had his imprint on those. The first one versus Portland, I think he went small. Didn't he go small that game? Or I don't remember. And then the first one versus Houston, where he refused to go small. Like, that was actually the right choice there. And then now this one, where he went small at the wrong time. They made their run, brought in Dwight too late, and the rotations were just atrocious. So right now he's at about a 6.5, which is a little bit right at the average. I need him to be more like at an 8 for a championship run. 8 out of 10. Give me some 8 out of 10 coach, and we'll be straight. He said, why everyone want Kuz head all of a sudden? Because people are emotional, man. Here's the thing about Laker fans, okay? We overreact. We're still up 2-1 in the series. We should not be pissed off. We can be disappointed. That's fair. But pissed off, leave that to if we were down in the series or tied. Disappointed is fine because we didn't show up tonight. So I'm disappointed myself. However, so we fans tend to overreact sometimes, and I don't know why they Kuzma has been great for us in the bubble. He's had 2 bad games. He needs to step it up. That's simple as that. None of this trade him, none of this garbage. No. He said, yeah, I have to agree. Kuzma has been very quiet as far as impact on the game. Yeah, I mean, the last 2 games haven't been kind to him, but that happens. I mean, LeBron wasn't really great this game, even though he had a triple-double. He didn't really make an impact like that. He started off good. In the first quarter, he was aggressive, and I felt like I don't know if he got tired or a little bit of injury problems or what happened, because he basically disappeared for the rest of the game. I know the stats don't say that, but that's why you watch the game. He didn't really make an impact. When AD made a little run in the second half when we brought it within 10, I wanted LeBron to come out ultra aggressive. Now, he didn't really turn up till like the end of the fourth where we made that run, but it was too little too late. Everybody was winded, game over. Didn't appreciate you, bro. He said, can we please take JaVale out of the starting lineup? The way JaVale has been playing, I'd take him out of the rotation. Like, the only way I would put JaVale in is if we need that size. But right now, he was getting killed by Jokic like crazy. Like, Jokic was having him roll off his body. JaVale was on the ground. Joker was over here laying the ball over. Like, it was just, I don't know. It was ugly, man. It was an ugly game. It was probably the worst one we've played in the playoffs. I think so. I think this was, unless I have short-term memory loss and there was one worse, this might have been the worst one. If it had it not been for that little run in the end, we'd be really outraged right now. Because we can't allow a team to steamroll, especially a team like the Nuggets. We can't. They're good, but they're not great. They're not like where we're at. So we can't allow them to beat us by 20. I'll take a little 10-point loss. All right, cool. Next game, we just got to execute. I hope they watch film and then make sure they take care of the basketball and come out playing smarter, because if not, this will be a longer series than it needs to be. It was a wake-up game for us, Dan. Well, I hope so, because they need to wake up for real. And I'm confident in this team. There's no way we lose this series, period. But the only thing I want is for us to finish it quicker rather than later. I already told you guys what the benefits are from that and what's the downside of allowing this to go 6 or 7. So we got to make sure we come out here and just destroy next game. I want to go up 3-1. I want to go up 3-1, and then I want everybody in the analysts and the commentators saying, well, look out now. Denver's got them exactly where they want them. And then they look really stupid when they lose game 5. So that's all I want. That is it. We said DTLF AD, the best four in the game, had 0 rebounds until the 2-minute mark in the fourth quarter. Yeah, he's got to do better. Again, our stars weren't good. Throw the numbers out. I never look at numbers. I don't care if LeBron had a triple-double. I don't care if AD had a double-double. I don't care if he had a single-double. Whatever. Bottom line is, in a loss, you don't look at numbers. You analyze the game. AD wasn't aggressive consistently enough, and he settled for way too many bad shots. I get it. You hit the game winner. Confidence was high. Still got to be smart. LeBron James played in spurts, and that's okay because he's older, except he needs to play in the right spurts. There was times where we needed him to be aggressive and take over. The man looked tired. He turned the ball over. He settled for jumpers. We lost. Simple as that. He said, Laker fans, how do we feel about starting Rondo as a point guard? He was giving my Nuggets problems. We've always been for Rondo. However, we need a spark off the bench. If we take all of our bench players like Dwight and Rondo and start them all of a sudden our bench will struggle a little bit. So for that reason, I'm not in favor of Rondo starting. I'm more in favor of Dwight starting because our problem's not at the point guard. Our problem is at the center position. That Joker has our hands full, man. Got to give him credit. He's making some crazy shots. I mean, you see Charles Barkley salivating all over him. Like, I don't know, but he's really good. He's great. But Anthony Davis needs to prove that he's the best player. And so far he has, except for this game. So he needs to step up. Look at I'm gonna look at the stats just to tell you guys a tale of two different Anthony Davis. Okay, tale of two different Anthony Davis. The first 2 games he had over 30 points, shot efficiently, got a ton of rebounds, played great defense. This game he didn't get to 30 points. He got to 27. Only shot 52% from the field. He only had 2 rebounds. He had 0 blocks and only 1 steal and 3 turnovers. That's the difference, guys. Is that when AD plays smart and he gets going inside, he gets over 30, he does it efficiently, he plays defense, we win. When AD settles, takes poor shots, plays soft, which is he rarely does this, but he'll have 1-2 games like this in a series. It's regular for a superstar. Superstars can be great the whole series. Not everybody's Kobe Bryant, right? Not everybody is LeBron, not everybody is Jordan. But superstars will have a 1 to 2 game lapse, and that's all I ever want to see from them. If they have more than that, now I start getting really critical. Now I start questioning them. But for now, we're going to give him a break. This is his first official subpar game. I wanted to even say bad because obviously he put up the numbers offensively. Defensively, he wasn't there. Rebounding-wise, wasn't there. So subpar game from him, subpar game from LeBron. They need to be great. Both of them need to be great because Denver has depth. They have a lot of depth, and they showed up tonight. He said, hopefully Murray girl bites off his. Oh, my goodness. No, Mad Max, no. We don't wish injuries, especially that bad, upon anybody. He said, Dan, JaVale is only good as a cheerleader. This series, Dwight needs to start and Markieff needs more minutes. Lakers will bounce back game 4. I have no doubt we will bounce back. But I want us to bounce back aggressive, smart, and with a killer mindset. Like, can't we wear the Mamba jerseys every night? Because we need to play like that. Woo! Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight, guys. I think that's going to wrap it up for me tonight. It's been a long day. I didn't do pregame because I had to help a friend out whose car left him right before he got to work, so I gave him a ride to his job. And so, I didn't do pregame, but it's just been a long day. And then I tried buying the Xbox, and that was just, like I got out of work at 4 a.m., woke up at 7 to, try to put in my pre-order at 8. And then I couldn't get a hold of one of those. Luckily, looks like somebody's going to bless me, man. I got the hookup. Shout out to them for that. So, but I won't count my chickens until they hatch. But yeah, it's been a long day. So I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys literally are like my therapy, man. I feel like I get it all off my chest here. I hope you guys feel the same way. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget to smash that like button. And thank you guys for the donations as well. If you already haven't, please consider subscribing. And I will catch you guys right here for the next one. Peace out. Have a great night. Much love, Laker Nation. We'll bounce back. We got this. Go Lakers, baby.